Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk to you about Job. Um, Consider this. It was God who told Satan about Job. See, Satan wasn't really considering Job because Job had a hedge around him. But it was God who said, "Have you considered my servant Job?" And so, God told Satan he can take the hedge away from him, and but Satan told God that if he take it, uh, that he would curse him to his face. Now, God knew that Job would complain, but he knew he wouldn't curse him. So today we want to deal with, though you may be going through some major fire and you may be having a Job experience, and I'm talking to the righteous, and you may be having a Job experience, know that God is with you and that God is going to see you through. I'm going to go to Job 19, and it says, "Then Job answered and said, How long will you torment my soul and break me in pieces with words? These 10 times have you reproached me. You are not ashamed that you have wronged me, and have I erred? And if indeed have I erred, my error remains with me. If indeed you exalt yourselves against me and plead my disgrace against me, know then that God has wronged me, and he has surrounded me with his net. If I cry out concerning wrong, I am not heard. If I cry aloud, there is no justice. He has fenced up my way so that I cannot pass. He has set darkness in my path." And I'm going to stop right there. It is God who had set darkness in Job's path. God knew what he had invested in Job. He knew he was upright. He knew he was one that eschewed evil, because God is the one who gave the investment in the first place. So he knew what he invested in Job. He knew that Job loved him, and he knew that Job could handle whatever trial that he allowed to happen. Because, mind you, God weigh your trials. Satan can't do no more than what God allow him to do. Though he may ask God about you and what he can do to you, if it's too heavy, God will not allow it to happen. So if you're having a Job experience and it feels very heavy, you can bear it, because God wouldn't allow it to happen if you could not. So I want to say to you, Job was a perfect and upright man, one who eschewed evil. His friends began to accuse him falsely and say, "Man, you had to do something, because why is all this stuff happening to you? If you didn't do anything, God wouldn't be allowing it to happen to you." See, they didn't understand the relationship that Job and God had, and they didn't understand that God had just made something. It was something with him. It wasn't really about Job. It was about God and Satan. They didn't know what was going on in the heavenlies. They didn't know what was going on in the supernatural. They only knew what they saw. And that's why when you look at something, you can't judge it by what you see. You have to judge it by what you know. Job's friends disgraced him. They disappointed him. They falsely accused him. His wife despised him. His wife began to talk against God and tell Job to curse your God and die, because to her it looked like he was a defeated foe. It looked like there was no hope. His case looked hopeless to his friends and to his wife. His relatives didn't want nothing to do with him, because he looked hopeless. His case looked hopeless, and it looked like God had turned his back on him. But Job said, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." He had to trust God through all of that, though he complained. Now, he's human. He complained. But even in his complaint, he didn't bow. He was not going to bow to Satan. Even though he complained, he was not going to bow. And God knew that about Job. And that's why he knew he could trust Job, because he knew what he had invested inside of Job. See, it's about the investment. It's about what God put inside you. He knows what he put inside you. He knows what you can bear. He knows what you cannot bear. So he knew Job could go through this to be a testimony to many people who may be going through the fire right now. So I say to you, if you're an upright person, it's not always, sometimes we judge people wrongly. Sometimes we say, look what you did. Now, sometimes it ain't about what a person have done. It's about God allowing that person to go through something to help you through something. Because you might have to have a Job experience too. And so, never look at a person when they're going through and say their case is hopeless. And sometimes God allow it to look that way to show you his glory, to show you that he can bring them out of anything or any problem or any dilemma they may find themselves in. But because Job was chosen by God, he had to go through that affliction. He had to go through that type of trial, because God was going to show Satan that my word is true. If I said this man ain't gonna bow, he ain't going to bow. He loves me. And you don't know to the extent of that love, Satan. You think you do. So I'm gonna let you do what you think you can do. And I'm gonna show you that he is not going to curse me. Yes, he's going to complain, but he's not going to curse me. He ain't gonna even leave me. He gonna have to trust me through it. Though it may seem bitter to him, the cup may seem bitter. It seemed bitter to Jesus. Jesus didn't want to go through that cross. So, Job was human. He didn't want to go through that. But he knew to trust God through it, even though he didn't want to go through it. He knew to trust God through it. Now, I want to say to you, you may be going through some things and it looks hopeless. It looks like God is gone. It looks like he's nowhere around. It looks like he has forgotten you. It looks like God has left you, and people are talking about you and they're saying that God is not with you and they don't understand you. Your relatives may be against you. They may despise you because of the situation you're in. But if God puts you in that situation, there's nothing you can do to change it. You just have to go through it. Some things you just have to go through until God bring you out of it. But know this, even though Job got double for what he went through, the loss of his children is just irreplaceable. When you lose your children, that's something that that's irreplaceable. Though God did give him more children and all of that, and more than what he had, because he was already rich. He was rich before the hedge was moved. So he's a rich man. But though he went down, his comeback was greater than his go down. Now, I hate that he lost all his children, because you can't replace children. And but God knew Job could handle that. He knew, if I take your first crew and give you another crew, you're going to be all right. He knew that Job could handle that. Job lost everything. He was a rich man. He lost all his cattle, his herd, his houses, and everything. He lost it all. But he didn't lose his soul. He didn't lose his train of thought to trust God. So he still had something. He still had something more valuable than all of his assets and all the things that he had. He said he had something more valuable. And that was his will to trust God and his soul. He didn't lose the will to trust God. He didn't lose his soul. And so I say to you and those who are having a Job experience, trust God. Trust God. It may seem like God done took a vacation. And sometimes it do seem like he don't win until the vacation when it comes to your situation. It may look like God is not even listening. It may look like God don't even care. You may feel forsaken. Even though you feel that way, it's not that way. Sometimes God will turn his back, but he hasn't forsaken you. He only turning his back so he needs you to go through this. So he can't talk to you. He can't just start doing what you want him to do. He said, no, I need you to go through this fire, because this fire is for destiny, it's for purpose. If you don't go through this fire for your destiny, your purpose, you're not going to make it. So you have to go on through this, because it's going to be a testimony to many. They saw you go down, and they're going to see you come up. And I'm going to tell you, your come up is going to be far greater than your go down. Because God is the one that's allowing you to go through this path. But know this is for destiny. It's for destiny. Destiny. Once you get that in mind, it's destiny. No matter, don't pay attention to what people are saying, because people will say all kind of stuff when they see you go through when your case looks hopeless. Don't pay attention to what people are saying. Keep your eyes on God. You need to pray more when you're going through the fire. You need to fast more. You need to pray more. You need to study more. And you need to trust more. See, this is the time where your faith is on trial. You're going to have to trust God if you're having a Job experience. And for those of you who are not having it, keep living. Eventually you're going to have some type of experience. May not be a Job experience, but it's going to be some crucial times. It's going to be some bad, hard times. And it's going to look like God's forsaken you. It's going to look like God is not with you. It's going to look like, why did you do this, God? I don't understand. And people are going to talk about you. They're going to mock at you. They're going to mock you. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to say God ain't with you. You're going to have to know He with you in this season. I told y'all before, you're going to go through some trials this time. And you're going to go through some stuff that it ain't going to look good. It ain't going to feel good. It's going to be a bitter cup, but you're going to have to go through it. And God ain't going to take you out of that fire either. He going to make you go through that fire to purify you, to burn off some stuff that He don't like in you, because He know the investment He put in you, and He trying to burn off some stuff, and then He's trying to take you to the next level. And the only way to go to the next level is you got to go through your test, your trial. You got to die to you and live in Him. And that's not an easy thing to do. Trust me, I know. I've been in the fire for years, so I know it's not an easy thing to do. But I can tell you that God can keep you through it. If He can keep my mind, He can keep anybody's mind. Believe me when I tell you that. If He can keep Tammy's mind, He can keep anybody's mind. But the key to that is keeping your mind stayed on Jesus and keeping focused on the things of God. Don't let nobody come in and sway you to the left or sway you to the right. You got to stay focused. Got to stay focused on God and what He's doing in your life. So I say to you, don't be weary in well doing, because you're going to reap if you faint not. You don't need to faint in this season. You need to just go on through whatever you need to go through and let God make you. This is Evangelist Tammy Jerome Adams, and I want you to have a blessed day today. But I want to say this. I'm not talking to the people who are continuing in sin or making mistake after mistake. This is not for you. This is for those who are living right and trying to live right to the best of their ability. This is for you. God wanted me to tell you, I am with you, even though it don't seem like it. I am there. So you be blessed today and know that God is with you. This is Evangelist Tammy Jerome Adams, and you be blessed in Jesus' name. I love you.